This month has been very chaotic, in a good way, mostly. I shot a grand total of 10 rolls of film, and most of it I shot while on a trip across the country that you may have seen in a video that I posted last week. A lot of the photos in this recap are from that trip and from that video, but I tried my best to keep it diverse and show off some other ones that I'm really proud of. But it should be noted that all 6 rolls that I shot on that trip and that I showed in that video have photos on them that I'll cherish forever. And beyond that trip, I have a lot of updates and previews for you all later in this video, so be sure to stick around for those. But before we get to the meat and potatoes of this video, let's go ahead and take a peek at the kitty corner. Delightful. And with that out of the way, this video right here is for my favorite photos that I've taken in the last 30 days. So in no particular order, here we go, starting with this photo was taken on Kodak Pro Image 100 with the Pentax K1000. I took this photo while I was in Santa Monica, California. What you're looking at is St. Monica, an Art Deco sculpture by Eugene Moynihan that overlooks the Pacific Ocean. As you can tell by the lighting, I took this as the sun was setting, and it's really that gradient of the sky with the blue up top and the orange down on the bottom that I think makes this photo so compelling to me. That combined with the soft light on the front of St. Monica here and the rim light coming from camera right, I don't know, it just feels so peaceful. This was my first time ever shooting Kodak Pro Image 100, and I was really impressed with the results from the whole roll. This one stood out to me just for the fully fleshed out feeling of it. There's also this base on the bottom of the image, and I'm not sure what exactly it is, whether it's some sort of wall or just some portion of the horizon line. Either way, it gives the whole photo a bit of structure to stand on, rather than feeling like St. Monica is just sort of floating in the sky. With a photo like this, you run the risk of it being boring, and maybe some of you out there think this one is, but to me, it has this undeniable quality to it that I have a hard time looking away from. Even with the grain in this image, which there is quite a bit of, it has this buttery feeling to me, and that smooth transition in the sky is the main reason for that. There were a lot of photos on this roll of Pro Image that I shot in Santa Monica that I was super happy with. Honestly, I probably could have picked 5 photos from that roll alone and shown them in this video, but I do want to kind of move on to some other rolls that I shot over the course of the month and kind of diversify a little bit. So with that being said, let's move on to our next photo. This photo was taken on Ektar 100 in the Pentax K1000. So I said in that video last week that shooting in botanical gardens or just taking photos of flowers can feel like cheating sometimes. There's a fundamental neurological, biological reason that we're drawn to them. Their beauty, their intricacies. And this flower here is called, based on my research, a Burbidgea. I think that's how you pronounce it. Kind of like if Mike Burbidgea was a plant. I wish I had a clear memory of taking this photo, but I just don't. The frame of the leaves surrounding it really help draw your eye to the center and the bright yellow-red combo against the green backdrop that is separated beautifully with the shallow depth of field. Yeah, this is a winner in my book. Based on the depth of field, I was probably shooting this around an f2, maybe a 2.8. not entirely sure. And focusing on the Pentax K1000 is always a little hit or miss. Since my eyes aren't that great, you could probably tell because of my glasses, I generally rely on a split prism viewfinder for critical focus and things like that, which the Pentax doesn't have. So I kind of have to trust my shitty eyes, which isn't always the easiest thing to do, or something that I want to do. I shot this on my SMC Pentax M f250mm lens, and I shouted it out in the video last week, and it's really just a super reliable, super sharp lens. Possibly the sharpest lens that I own. Also, before I forget, check out this triangle. If you watch these videos, you know that I'm the biggest advocate for triangles in photography. I try to use them whenever possible. They're real and they're spectacular. Now, on to talking about Ektar 100. Damn, did this film win me over immediately upon seeing the results. I've said it many times before that if you're gonna shoot color film, you better have the colors to make it worth it. And Ektar makes it easy for those punchy colors to really pack a punch. At least based on this roll. I've shot some Ektar in 120, but this was my first foray in shooting it in 35mm format, and you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm gonna be shooting it again. This photo was taken on Kentmere Pan 400 with the Ricoh XR-2. So I've mentioned several times that I typically don't like shooting photos of people out and about in the street, or in this case on a pier in Santa Monica. But when I saw these two cuddled up together on this bench, looking out at the horizon, looking out at the ocean, I really couldn't help myself. And shooting them from the back kind of helps maintain their anonymity, so I didn't feel as icky about it going forward, and showing you all in this video. I shot a few photos of them, a couple in color and then two in black and white, and this one was my favorite. With the guy on the right having his head tilted back, you could almost imagine him closing his eyes and really reveling in the experience of being by the beach with someone that he holds dear. A feeling that I hope that everyone has had or gets to experience at some point. I hate using this word, but this photo has a very nostalgic feel to it. Do I wish there was maybe something more exciting going on in the background? Maybe. The horizon is a little bland, and also the black and white doesn't fully capture the beauty of the sun nearing sunset as well as the color images do. But either way, this photo just makes me feel something, and at the end of the day, what else is a photo for? This photo was taken on Kodak Ultramax in the Pentax K1000. At the end of my trip, I had a roll of Ultramax left over in my camera, and so this photo was taken somewhere in Brooklyn as I was trying to finish off the roll. I wasn't expecting to like this as much as I do, and frankly to me, it has that quality that's hard to put into words, other than it's just pleasing to the eyes. We're getting a good amount of depth to the image with the tree in the foreground, and then the building, and then the building is in front of the aqua blue sky. It just all kind of blends together nicely. Also, yet again, check out this triangle. That's a nice one because of the dimension that it brings, drawing your eye deeper into the image. I think I also like this image as an ushering into spring and warmer weather here in New York. I've been praying for the weather to warm up for months now, and finally I could go out on a full walk with a t-shirt and be totally comfortable. I'm a pretty skinny guy, so I get cold very easily. This photo just oozes with springtime essence to me, and frankly, I love that. Not much else to say about it. I mean, it's a photo of a building. I'm wondering now, as I'm recording this, if this actually deserves to be in my top 5, or if I'm just kind of grasping to diversify the top 5 and not make it all about my trip to California and Atlanta. But I really do like this image. Is it in my top 5? I don't know, but we're talking about it now, and it's too late to go back. So we're gonna move on to the next image. This photo was taken on Arista 100 with the Ricoh XR-2. I swear to God, I don't mean to keep doing this. Every month I show you all the kitty corner, and every month there's this one outlier, a photo of one of my cats, that I feel like I just need to include on the list. Also, as I keep mentioning, I'm always trying to diversify these videos every month, so if I just showed you a bunch of photos that I showed you in a video last week, it wouldn't be very much fun. And I actually have some insightful things to say about this one. For starters, I have to give a shout out to Brooklyn Film Camera here in well, Brooklyn. Admittedly, I don't have a ton of experience with them. My normal photo lab is exposure therapy, which is like a 5-minute walk from my apartment. But when I saw that Brooklyn Film Camera was holding a yard sale, I figured I'd go check it out. What harm could it do? Turns out the only harm it could do was to my wallet, because I picked up this guy. A Takumar Bayonet 135mm f2.5 lens. I generally stick to the standard focal lengths, your 50mm, your 28s, your 70 to 200 zoom lenses. So when I saw a 135mm lens just sitting on the table there, I thought, what the hell, let me give it a try. What I will say is that based on this first roll that I used entirely with this lens, I learned some do's and some don'ts. For instance, maybe don't shoot with a 1/30th of a second shutter speed. As far as do's go, do take a ton of photos of my cats with it. And that leads me to this photo. I was running a roll of Arista EDU Ultra 100 through my Ricoh as a means of testing out this lens, and most of the photos were good, but not great. But this one, whoa, it caught my attention. When you have the right mix of an ample amount of light, a subject that's staying relatively still, and a 135mm lens, and possibly a yellow filter, and you absolutely body the focus, you get a photo like this. Luckily, I have two cameras that are compatible with this lens, my Pentax K1000 and the Ricoh XR-2, so I plan on carrying this lens around whenever possible and getting some practice with it. I do know that I need to shoot at faster shutter speeds, since keeping the camera steady while this lens is attached is kinda tricky, but be on the lookout in the next few months for a video about this lens to see if it's right for you. So because this was such a productive month for me, I do want to highlight some honorable mentions, some photos that almost made the cut. Good to take a moment to step back from a busy month of photo making, especially one that you're genuinely really happy with. I'll quickly echo something that I said in last week's video, which you should definitely check out after this one, and just say that it's a real privilege to be able to have a job that allows me to go out and travel and take photos like these. I'm thankful to have a job that allows me to explore states and neighborhoods and cultures that I might not have the means to experience otherwise. It could be easy for people on YouTube or just social media in general to post photos and videos of their travels, and they can sometimes make you feel like you're missing out on the world, or that you're experiencing it vicariously through them. It's a weird thing to talk about publicly, and it's a very real feeling that I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in feeling. Posting videos about times that you've traveled can feel to the examined mind like boasting or like bragging, and I obviously don't want to do that. So I need to acknowledge that not everyone has the means to travel and take photos for a living. I'm not saying that I do, I just make reality TV and take photos in my free time before I have to get to work. I'm just saying that it's important to acknowledge your own luck sometimes. I'm lucky to have the job that I have. I'm lucky to have a roof over my head and to come home to food in the fridge. I'm lucky to have a loving girlfriend and two amazingly adorable cats. And I'm lucky to have all of you watching this video, everyone subscribed to the channel, and just have this channel in general. So on that note, thank you all so much for watching. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell to be notified when new videos are going to be released. You can go ahead and support this channel by finding that join button, and for a few bucks a month, you could help this channel grow. You could also help support me by going to my print shop. Consider buying a print. There are photos in this video that you could buy prints of right now, so go ahead, check it out. It's darkroom.com, and they're really amazing quality. And last but not least, hit me up on Instagram and let's talk cameras. Let's nerd out. Ask me any questions that you have. A few of you have already done so, and I really, really appreciate it. You know who you are. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, I bought a new camera. Okay, bye.